Well, good morning, folks. This is Dave from Dave's Raised Bed Garden. I'm out here today. I'm going to be doing a couple things in my garden. It's a pretty day today. It's actually Saturday morning. The sun's coming up over behind my shoulder, over the trees, and it's starting to come up and shine down on our property here and then in my garden. I'm out here today because I wanted to do a few things. I know I showed a video a couple days ago, actually a little tour of my garden. I'm actually going to be showing you a little bit of that and everything. What I have growing now is that fall is actually coming in just a few days. Actually, it's on the 22nd of this month. It'll be the first day of fall. You can actually feel it a little bit in the air. It's still a little bit humid out here, but not much at all, but you can feel the coolness coming in early in the mornings. I love coming out here, especially when I get off in the mornings and come out here and just feel the cool breezes and just see how Mother Nature is just providing and the wonderful blessings that I'm being able to get here. But I wanted to share a few things, and one of the things that has to deal with is in fall gardening. In fall gardening, this is the first time that I've ever done it, but I want to explain what I understand. This will be, like I said, it's the first time. I've usually just started right in March and continued on until everything had died out, and then my peppers have always been my long growers, and they would stay all the way up until the first frost. But this year I'm trying to provide more for my family, and also I'm trying to learn more as a gardener, to understand more, to better myself as a gardener, and then to be able to provide for my family, and then my knowledge and everything to be able to hopefully help somebody else besides me. I'm learning, and I'm always learning. I've said it before and everything. The garden is my happy place. It's a place where I can relax. I can come out here and just enjoy nature, and just to see the products of what I've been able to do and what I've been able to achieve. It's amazing to me that a little tiny seed can grow, and the magnitude of what it can provide for me and my family and my friends and everything. So it means a lot to me. So I've just become more excited about what I'm doing. But one of the issues that I found in the very beginning of this year, and I actually had it last year, that I was having problems with, and I decided that I wanted to get more involved and understand why, is that with certain plants, and especially the cool weather plants, that has to do with your cabbage, your collard greens, your Brussels sprouts, your cauliflower and broccoli and all those different things, they are so much to get infestations by little worms. And these little worms, you'll see these pretty little butterflies. To a lot of people, they look cute little things, and you think they're pollinators. They're not. They're actually dangerous for your plants. What they'll do is they'll land, especially on these cool weather plants, and what they'll do is that they will lay larvae, and that larvae are eggs. And what happens is that those eggs hatch, and they're little tiny worms, and those worms get into your vegetables, and they will just make havoc. And that's one thing that I'm trying to protect from happening to my garden. So what I have is these little hoop house or hoop greenhouse. It's a little thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, try to cover my plants, and there's different methods. So I'm going to get ready to do that, and to show you different methods at which you can do what I'm learning, and then to be creative in a way to be able to hopefully help my gardening, and to be able to help my plants, and as I continue on and going through the fall, and then showing you some things that I'm trying to do also. So I'm getting ready to do that, and I'll share that with you, and I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope the start of your day is great, and a great weekend, and so let's get started. What I'm doing out here today is that actually I'm putting this little hoop house. These are the little pieces that connect together, and in these little pieces there's several of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to connect them together, and then when I do that, I'm going to make a little hoop, and on that hoop I'll be able to cover up my plants, and I'll be able to go and establish and put this over where I can put a cover over top of it. It's a little cloth that I'll be using and everything. So what I'm doing is that I'm making a hoop. It's like a hoop greenhouse. And then in that tack, what it allows me to do is to be able to provide coverage that I need. For an example is the beginning of this week, or past week, excuse me, the temperatures for a couple days were up in the low 90s. Now, a lot of these cool weather plants, they don't do well with heat. And an example is like your lettuce and so forth, and then even your cabbage. your broccoli, and unless they've been really hardened and you've had them out here, they don't like to do well. So coming out here and being able to put these things together and then making a little hoop to be able to put coverage over it. I actually did it at that time when I had the heat. I have a thing called a shade cloth. The shade cloth, you can get different variances of protection for your plants. I've been reading a lot, and one of the best ones that I think that's used for my area and everything, and it's provided, and it did very well. I'll show you my plants what it did even in the beginning, is that it's a 40% shade block, which means it's going to block 40% of the sun, and that'll help that with the heat. But also what it's going to do is just provide 60% of it, and then that's going to allow the heat not to really get to my plants. And so you know, in the video I showed, I had it tied to my stakes and everything, but now with the hoop house, I'm able to provide it and to be able to give if I need it. Hopefully we're not going to have any more days, but the way that they're doing this and attaching it, you can actually get little clips that you can put on these things. But right now I'm trying a different method, just because of the size of my beds, the size of my cloth that I have, and I'm actually attaching it, but I can still take it off and I can still put another type of cloth on it. Whether if it gets so cold that some of the plants that I want to go through later on, through the fall and everything, that I can put it's a hot house cloth. What it does is basically is it protects my plants from the frost, and it gives them more insulation to be able to allow it to grow. I can even adapt, and one of the things is I want to make a hoop house that'll be bigger, that it's actually a lid that I can open or shut, and then I can continue growing. I told you once before that I'm going to try to make a greenhouse, and that's one of the things that I want to do. But that's a way that I can do it if I don't get to that point of being able to make me a regular greenhouse, that I can do this to make a bed as a miniature type greenhouse to continue putting my seedlings and everything through the winter, and then even having an aspect of being able to grow vegetables through the winter. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how I do it, and then give you an idea. And then when I get done, I'll show you how everything looks from when I have it covered with the cloth, and I'll be explaining that cloth that I'm putting on there in just a couple minutes. The sun's starting to come out. I'm doing a little bit more. I'm going to show you here exactly what I've done. The hoops that I showed you, I'm actually starting to do it. I want to show you how easy it was to put in there. It took me probably, I would say, no more than 10 minutes to put everything in and put those in there. And I'm going to show you what I've done to give you an example how easy these hoops are. Let me show you exactly what I mean of what I'm doing, and kind of give you an example of how I'm going to do my garden. Here's the pieces that I've put together on this bed. You'll notice that I have some lettuce. I have 2 different types of lettuce in here. And then also I have some cabbage and then collard greens and so forth in this bed, and also my peas. I can take each one of these, and how I can, there's actually 4 on here. I can make this either higher or lower based on what I feel that I need for the plants. Now what I'm going to do is, I didn't go all the way over here to the peas, because they do well, and they've acclimated themselves to the temperature and everything, and they're also starting to really grow. But what I'm going to do is that this gives you an idea. Now the neat little thing about this is that you can see this little hole here. It has little caps that you can put on, and then these little connectors, all they do is that they just snap to each piece, and then you're able to put the cross, I guess your cross pieces across there to give it more leverage and everything to hold whatever cloth that you're putting it on. But that's what I'm doing today, and I just wanted to show you exactly how I'm doing it, and then I'll be continuing on. Well, I'm actually done with what I was doing. I put the covers on the beds, I put the hoops down and everything, and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like after it's done. So here's the beds. I've put the hoops on it. I've actually covered them. I've got 3 beds that I've covered. You can kind of see the way that I did it. I left the peas out because I'm not really worried about those same bugs getting on that. And also they're going up the little trellis that I have, what I have. So you can actually see how I've covered the plants and kind of covered the beds with this cloth. I think it's a very unique system. I think it's hopefully it's going to prevent some of the problems that I had at the beginning of the year, and then also last year. And then here's the little bed that I have the Brussels sprouts. I have some beans that I guess I dropped the seeds and everything, and I'll continue to grow with those. But I can actually flip this off. So what I'll do is that I will flip it off early in the morning when I water it and everything, and I'll just keep these cloths on here to try to just help with what I'm doing with the garden. So this is what I've done. I have put the hoop house on it with the pest control cloth, and you can hear the sirens going by. This has been going on for the past about 10 or 15 minutes. I hope everything's okay. But anyway, this is what I have. This is the my pepper plants. You can see, I'm going to show a little bit about my garden. These red beans have really taken off. I'm excited to see what they've done, see how they've grown and everything. They've just really taken off. Now you notice that I, real quickly, I was doing my squash plants and I did them vertically. I took the stakes out. These seeds I actually purchased online. I purchased from a professional gardener that I really like to watch, and these seeds are what he sells, and it's M.I. Garden, the letter M.I. and then Gardner. Luke has a lot of knowledge, and they have really inquired at what they do, the seeds. These seeds are the ones that I actually purchased from him, and I really love them. These squash have really taken off. I'm going to keep a close eye on them. I actually have some preventative that I can put down as far as for these squash bugs and everything. I've never continued growing them into the fall, so I just want to see exactly what they'll do. And it amazes me that this much came off of 6 or 7 little seeds. And I've just been excited about it and everything. But I challenge you to come, you know, if you're looking for seeds, I also have flowers and so forth. Go on M.I. Gardner, look on their webpage, and then go ahead and purchase some of their seeds. Right now, I believe that you may be able to still get it with 50% off. This is what I did. They were doing it at the end of the season. These are the seeds that they have left over. You can keep them from next year. But this is to show you exactly how my squash is. My other plants, you can tell my pepper plants, these California Wonders, they are wonderful. These are the lunchbox, they're the little peppers. I have got these things loaded up on here. So I just wanted to show you exactly a little bit what I've done in the garden. Been working down here for a little while, covering my plants up. And then I'll show you also the shade cloth that I have too, that I purchased, and give you an idea based on the shade cloth. I also got that on Amazon also. So let me show that to you in just momentarily. So this here is the shade cloth. This is the 40% shade. I had this on, if you saw that little video that I showed of my gardening and for the fall planting. I've got them hung out here. I keep them out here based on what I feel like the temperatures may be and everything. But these are the shade cloth that I bought. I bought 2 of them. I really like these. I like what they've done, and to be able to put my hand underneath it and feel the difference, it makes a difference for my plants and everything. So I hope this video has showed you a little bit, or maybe gave you ideas that what you can do for your garden. I will show you, continue through videos that I'm having, that I'll be doing and everything throughout the next days and weeks and everything. I'm really excited to see what's going on. Now the sun's come up. It's a little warm out here now. I think it's supposed to be in the low 80s today. The humidity is up a little bit, but I saw the weather for coming up for this week. I think it's supposed to be cooler. So I'm excited about that, and I'm doing everything that I can as far as, you know, as far as covering my plants and protecting them, and also continue growing is what I'm trying to do. And I just thank you for watching my videos, and thank you for being a part of Dave's Raised Bed Garden. And until next time, take care.